All right, all right, all right. This is going to be such a special treat as we dive fast and we really dive into this conversation regarding reparations. And there is no other person literally that was in my immediate network that I thought would be a better person to have this conversation, especially given the news. I'm sure, my Glow Nation, I'm sure you're all aware and listening and tuned in, especially given the new information that Joe Biden has found it fitting and is finding it justifiable to award $450,000 to illegal immigrants that were separated at the border. So we are going to be having such a necessary conversation today, but I do not want to delay our guest just introducing himself and absolutely leading this conversation in regards to what needs to be done right now, right here, to provide real time solutions to achieve reparations in this country today. Go ahead, my dear brother, General Rashid.
Are you talking about the reparations? Or are you talking about what Joe Biden did? Because I don't see why it's any surprise that we've never been considered as equal in this country. And so, from the beginning of the Constitution of the United States of America, it made sure that we would never be equal in terms of political analysis, because you can't be three-fifths of something and be a whole citizen. And so the thing that they did with Dred Scott really threw us under the bus. What Judge Tanner had said, you know, and he told the liberals that they need to go back to the Constitution. And what he was referring to is that three-fifths of a person. And he said, since you didn't do that, uh, blacks are not citizens of the United States, and there's no right that a black man has that a white man is obligated to respect. Uh, in the new version of the Constitution, they put little things in there like that is not so today, you know. But we find that it is very much so. If you look at the news today, they're talking about the guy that came from somewhere else with a high-powered rifle, killed two people. One person was injured, and he's saying it's self-defense, although he didn't live that. So I don't know what part of this conversation or what part of this issue that we need to deal with. I came up under the new slavery, which was, Jim Crow and all those kind of areas of Alabama. You know, we still was picking cotton for somebody else, and we just could not deal with some of the things that they was talking about. So I don't know. I have somebody ask me some questions about some of the things they want to talk about as it relates to today. Uh, so I was on both sides of that schedule in terms of so-called freedom of black people. Uh, so that's where I'm at with that. So I would entertain some kind of questions or something like that in terms of my life,
Absolutely.
in terms of my life and how, I had to leave Alabama in a hurry and was away from there 50 years before I went back. That was the place of my birth.
And we're going to dive into it because you said something, you mentioned this in your bio, which we did list in the description. So everyone can please, and please note that what was listed in the bio doesn't really do this man justice. I met General Rashid almost about a decade ago in Miami, and he is very much revered as being a lead a thinker and a doer in regards to not only the reparations conversation, but also in business and wealth building, as well as in self defense, defending the nation. So, just want to give that disclaimer really quick because I don't want people to think that this is someone that I just got to join into this conversation to justify my rhetoric and what my current positions are on a few things as it pertains to race relations as well as in progress for our people. This is someone that I have known for many years and absolutely very much revere. Um, I did want to jump on something that you said that was so on point and very timely to this discussion right here and right now in regards to when you say that sharecropping was the new slavery for when you were coming up. And this is what I say it is what the reason why I say renting is the new slavery for this generation. The fact that we are 70%, we make up 70% of the renting industry. And 70% of the properties that are rented are by people that are not black, people that are white, actually. 11% is Latino, and then 9% is African American. And it is almost the exact same numbers as slavery. So when I'm walking people through the process. This is how it goes. It went from slavery to sharecropping to tenant farming to tenants. And this is where we are right now in 2021. We are tenants. Um, Black people are 4 times as likely to be evicted. How is that possible? If we're such a minority, how come we're the most we're being evicted at such a higher rate than anybody else? And the number one thing that we can continue to go back to is the fact that white people are allowed to move, black people are thrown out. It is what I call also, no disrespect to anyone that has people in their family or people that have witnessed or a comparison to physical lynching. But what it is a psychological because it is meant to embarrass, it is meant to humiliate, and it is meant to shame Black people and scare them into being complicit with continuing to pay their monthly fee for living. No other demographic has to is held to that same to that same degree that Black people are held. We are in turn by being complicit with that system. We are in turn admitting that it is rightful for us to be charged almost 3 times or 4 times as much for the same rate that someone else is living in the same building. And we are complicit with the process of our rent money actually goes to fund other evictions. So I definitely I'm looking very much forward to this conversation, and not so much that I was surprised by Joe Biden's egregious act of disrespect, but more so what I am actually hoping for. I'm trying to choose my words very, very wisely here. What I'm hoping for is that more of us will be, incentivized and we will be outraged that because so many of, when I have this conversation with people about reparations, more times often than not, I hear us saying, oh, they don't have money for that. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people that look like me saying they're not going to pay us that. They don't have money to. Before COVID happened, they were totally comfortable in this saying, right? Or stating this. Then COVID happened. It was just like, huh. And then Afghan happened, and you see $6.3 billion being earmarked, being budgeted for Afghan refugees. And so, huh. Now turn right around the corner and you see 450,000 being set aside for immigrants divided at the border at the same time that they are rolling forward with the evictions of nationwide since the moratorium has ended. So I want you to talk, if you wouldn't mind, General Rashid, about some of the progress you've seen in your tenure with the National Coalition of Blacks Seeking Reparations in America in regards to achieving reparations legislation.
Okay, two things I'd like to say before I get into that. First of all, I'm the 99th signer of the Declaration of Independence that created the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa. They told us we wasn't going to come to Detroit, and we had at least 500 delegates plus the soldiers that was there, or that was the National Guard and everybody else there. Also, I'm one of the founding members of the development of the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations. I am on the board of elders, and I've been on there for quite some time. Some of the elders who signed for me to be on there, some of them are dead and gone, but I'm trying to carry on what it is that they was talking about. In terms of the National Coalition, we got some bumps in the road too, because they are doing what they did to the civil rights movement. We don't learn from the past because we don't want to study the past. And everybody in the world studies the past so they have a path to go on, except us. We keep saying what was back in the day. Like, for an example, like the chain gangs, now it's just mass incarceration. Same identical thing that they are doing, but because we don't study our past, we get off the past and we start identifying with other people who have similar kind of problems, but never chattel slavery. And it's an embarrassment to the United States to pay us reparation. I don't think the money would be an issue if the history wasn't there. And the history is there, and all of the dictators, including Hitler, copied off the United States what they did to Africans here in America. We got some foul history how the United States has treated people of African descent. And the unfortunate thing, because we didn't have nothing else to turn to, we are the most loyal people that they have. We have been the most advanced people in terms of advancing this nation, in terms of our labor, in terms of our inventions, and that whole kind of thing. One of the problems that I see with us is that we accomplish something and we ride it until everybody else start using it, because when other people start using it, it don't benefit us anymore. We have to rise to the occasion of resistance. Now, when I say that, a lot of people get the wrong impression. When I was in General Motors, there was some incident happened. I don't remember what it was. And so I was the social action director or the civil rights person at that time. They didn't give me no help. So I had to go